All right, can everyone see the screen okay? Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna get started. Okay, I think I already basically said all of this, but our astrophotographers have been practicing from less than 1 year to 20 years. The 5 people, I think we're all here tonight, that have contributed images are Isaac and myself and Alex and Mark and Joe. And so I wanted everybody to write up a little bit of a bio. So this is Isaac's bio. So Isaac is probably our most senior astrophotographer. He's been doing astrophotography for 20 years. He's a retired electrical engineer, past president of CAS. He leads CASIS, as you already heard. And he's lectured at CAS, OSU, Otterbein, and the Metropolitan University at Puerto Rico. And he's been published in various magazines and books. He's also a citizen scientist. He has published work with variable stars, eclipsing binaries, exoplanets, and extragalactic supernova. And he does this work in collaboration with OSU. And then you all know me. I just started doing astrophotography earlier this year. I am a research fellow at OSU. I study the evolution of gas and galaxies. I'm the current president. I'm a very enthusiastic mentor to early career scientists. I love animals, and as a consequence of that, I have way too many pets, but I'm okay with it. The next astrophotographer that we want to highlight is Alex. Alex has been practicing astrophotography for just over 2 years. He's a data center architect for Dell. He's the founder of the Deep Sky Ohio Facebook page, which if you haven't checked out is super cool. He basically live streams what he's viewing in his telescope. It's really cool. He's a guitarist and vocalist for the band Omega Kick, and he's an avid lover of dinosaurs and reptiles. We also have astrophotography from Mark Noltemir. I'm not sure I pronounced that right, sorry. He has been photographing deep space objects since 2017 using a DSLR and TeleVue 85 mounted on a Vixen SXD2. And I think this is impressive. All the shots that you'll see from Mark tonight were completely unguided. He's a mechanical engineer, and he likes to mountain bike and do whitewater kayaking. And he has been teaching these skills with Columbus Outdoor Pursuits since 2004. And he likes to draw and paint, learning how to do oil painting. And then finally, we have Joe Renzetti. Joe is a former CAS president, treasurer, secretary. He's basically done everything there is to offer within CAS for the last 10 years. He's an award-winning astrophotographer, published in Sky and Telescope, online, in local art galleries, in COSI, and on many social media sites. And he's a featured imager by the astronomy camera manufacturer ZWO, and a frequent contributor to the images and articles within our own prime focus. Is everyone ready? All right, so maybe if I'm going too fast or too slow, feel free to give me feedback on this, but we'll get started here. All right, so this is our first object. Everyone can see, right? All right, so the first piece of information is that this cluster is in Serpens, and it's pretty far away. A fun fact about this cluster is that Charles Messier found it in May 23rd, 1764, and wrote, "Beautiful nebula discovered between the Balance and the Serpent, near the star in the Serpent." I wish there was a way to know how many people think they have it figured out already. All right, I'm gonna go on to the next object. This is another image taken by Joe Renzetti. So this is in Coma Berenices, 30 million light years away. The dust lane which inspired this galaxy's nickname can be resolved in 6-inch telescopes. So the nickname is the Black Eye Galaxy, and the Messier number is 64. Okay, our next object. All right, so this is a cluster in Ophiuchus, 14,000 light years away. It crosses the plane of the Milky Way's disk every 53 million years. This is M10. right, here's our next one. This is in, okay, someone's going to have to help me pronounce this. Canes Venatici. It's 34,000 light years away. This was the first Messier object discovered by Charles Messier himself on May 3rd, 1764. So I thought this was interesting that this wasn't M1 if it was the first discovered. This is M3. All right, our next object is in the constellation Lyra, 1,140 light years away. The central blue dwarf seems to be variable and is visible under high magnification and larger amateur telescopes. So there's a white dwarf in the center of this planetary nebula, which was left over after the star. This is an older star that shed its outer envelopes. There is another brighter star that's near it that's mistaken for the central star. So this is known as the Ring Nebula, and its Messier number is 57. Okay, so this is an open cluster in Puppis, 1,600 light years away. It is a naked eye cluster near M46, and it's about the same size as the moon. This is M47. All right, this is our next cluster. It is in Auriga. I think other people call it Auriga, but I've always called it Auriga in my head. The voice in my head calls it Auriga. It's 4,100 light years away, and it's one of the most distant and faint open clusters in the Messier Catalog. It's also known as the Pinwheel Cluster. I guess it kind of looks like a pinwheel if you squint. And its number is M36. All right, this is our next cluster. It is located in Sagittarius, 2,150 light years away. It has an age of at least 220 million years, which makes it one of the older known open clusters, even though on astronomical timescales, that's pretty young. This is M23. All right, this is our next cluster. We have a lot of clusters in a row. This is in Auriga. It's 4,800 light years away. It is the brightest of the 3 Messier clusters in Auriga. This is M37. All right, this is our next open cluster in Scorpius, and it is 100 million years old. It's known as the Butterfly Cluster. I like that one yellow star you can see. This is M6. Okay, now this looks like a globular cluster to me. This is in Lyra, 31,000 light years away. It was discovered by Messier on January 9th, 1779. And this is cool because it's the same night that he actually discovered a comet and not something that he put in his catalog that wasn't a comet. This is M56. All right, this is our next object. This is a nice spiral galaxy in Como Berenices, 45 million light years away. This is a grand design spiral galaxy. So that means that the arms are well defined. They're not very flocculent. This is a word I just learned the other day, and I'm going to use it as much as I can. This is one of the first galaxies with spiral arms that was ever identified. And then this is M99. All right, next object. Looks like an open cluster. Also in Auriga. This is probably one of the 3 that they were referencing earlier. 4,200 light years away. This is the faintest of the 3 Messier clusters in Auriga. It's also known as the Starfish Cluster and is M38. All right, this is our next image. I'm sure a lot of you know what this one is. This is in Sagittarius. It's 5,000 to 6,000 light years away. This is one of the most massive H2 regions in our galaxy. So an H2 region is when you have this very hot star that it's like throwing out wind and radiation, and that energy that's coming off that star is ionizing the gas around it. So it's making the neutral hydrogen turn into H2. So this H2 region is 15 light years in diameter and part of a larger 40 light year diameter cloud. It's known as the Omega Nebula. And the internet says that's because it looks like it has an omega in it, but I couldn't see it. I don't know if y'all can see it. This is M17.
We always called it the check mark.
Oh, I can see that. All right. This is a nice galaxy. It's in Virgo. It's 58 million light years away. It's one of the largest and brightest spiral galaxies. It has an absolute magnitude of around -22. So that means that it's brighter than the Andromeda Galaxy. Now, it's probably not as close as Andromeda, so it probably doesn't look as bright to our eyes. But if they were the same distance, it would be brighter. This is M90. Okay, our next object is another open cluster. It is in Sagittarius, 2,000 light years away. And this is one of the few Messier objects that's visible to the naked eye. So if you're looking for this object, you'd look at the teapot asterism and you'd look about 6.5 degrees north and just east of that. This is M25. Okay, this is our next object. This is in Leo. It looks like a triplet of galaxies. So the Messier object within this image is the second brightest in a group of 3 in the belly of the Lion. It wasn't a part of the official Messier Catalog until David Levy published an extended version from Messier's notes in 1993. So the hint from this statement, meaning that we know that the Messier number is one of the higher numbers. This is M105. All right, this is our next image. This is in the constellation Taurus. This is pretty close, 444 light years away. This is very, very naked eye visible. I think a lot of us have looked up at this one and appreciated it. There are only 6 easily observed naked eye stars in this young cluster. But if you're in a dark sky site, you can see anywhere from 9 to 11 of them. These are known as the Pleiades or the 7 Sisters. And the Messier number is M45. All right, this is our next image in Serpens, 7,000 light years away. It's a beautiful nebula. This nebula has several regions of active star formation. This includes the famous Pillars of Creation, which is in the center part, and the stellar spire located just to the left of the pillar structure. This is also known as the Eagle Nebula, and the Messier number is M16. This is another spiral galaxy. This one's in Alpha Berenices, 55 million light years away. It's in the Virgo, it says it's within the Virgo cluster. There's a supermassive black hole at the core of this galaxy that's 80 million times the mass of the sun. This is M88. All right, this is our next item. This is in Hercules. This is the other Hercules globular cluster. So there are 2 of them. This one is M92. All right, here's our next object, nice globular cluster. This is in Pegasus. It has an estimated age of 12 billion years and only 1% of the sun's iron content. So real quick, something I learned in one of my classes is that, so in general, globular clusters like this one tend to be older and open clusters tend to be younger, but there isn't a well-defined area where something becomes open versus globular. So they can have some overlap. But most of the globular clusters you'll see will be very old, almost the age of the universe old. And the young clusters are usually finishing up their active star formation. All the stars are forming together. So this is one of the globular clusters. This is M15. Okay, our next object is this beautiful galaxy. I think this one's pretty popular. This is in Virgo, 9.5 million light years away. And until somewhat recently, it was the last object in the Messier Catalog. It's known as the Sombrero Galaxy, and the Messier number is M104. All right, this is our next object. I think this is my favorite object in the whole catalog. I didn't know much about it until I looked into it because it doesn't look like much. So this is in Ursa Major. So Messier was searching for a nebula that was reported at these coordinates, but he couldn't find anything. So instead, he decided to catalog this optical double star instead. And this is an optical double, so they're not even like next to each other. They just look like they are because of the relationship our relationship to them in the night sky. This is also cataloged as Winnick or Winnick 4. The Messier number is M40. All right, here's our next galaxy. This is in Ursa Major. It's 12 million light years away. There's a lot of color in this image. It's beautiful. This is visible in binoculars and has a supermassive black hole. It's known as Bode's galaxy, and the Messier number is M81. All right, here is our next open cluster in Perseus. It is naked eye visible in very dark conditions. This is M34. Okay, here's the next number. So this is in Ursa Major. It's 14 million light years away. It's an edge-on galaxy that usually appears next to a planetary nebula in photos. This is M108. All right, this is our next object. It's an open cluster in Scorpius.
Bingo! Bingo with M108.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
You just say bingo.
Bingo! How fun!
Oh, nice.
Got it.
Good job, Isaac.
All right.
All right. What do we do now? Do we just keep going? Okay, so this cluster is near the stinger of Scorpius, and it's best to observe in summer, seen through binoculars. This is the Ptolemy Cluster and is M7. All right, this is our next object. It's a globular cluster in Aquarius, 37,500 light years away. It is home to 21 known variable stars. It's also known as Saddlesuit. I've never heard that before, but that's its nickname. And its number is M2. Oh, this next one is probably another one of my favorites just because it's so weird. So there's this object. We don't really know much about it. The description that Messier provided was very ambiguous, and the identity of this object still to this day cannot be pinned down, which I find fascinating. This is M102. This is our next object. It's in Canes Venatici, 16 million light years away. This is a starburst galaxy. I define it in another slide, but a starburst galaxy is a galaxy that's having a very exceptional rate of active star formation happening. The bar in this galaxy is oval shaped, which is kind of cool. And it has two distinct ring structures. And if you want to get to this galaxy, I think it's kind of hard to find. So what you do is you star hop to it, starting at Cor Caroli. Sorry if I mispronounced that. This is M94.
Bingo. Ooh, that's a bingo.
You just say bingo.
Bingo! How fun!
Yay. Good job,
This is Alex.
Alex. All right, moving right along. Round 3. This galaxy is gorgeous. It is in Hydra, 14 million light years away. It's one of the biggest and brightest barred spiral galaxies in the sky and is visible with binoculars. It's known as the Southern Pinwheel Galaxy, and its Messier number is 83. All right, our next object looks like a globular cluster in Capricornus, 29,500 light years away. It has a combined mass of around 160,000 times the mass of the sun. So I had to look this up. This has undergone a process called core collapse, and I didn't know what that was. But apparently when these clusters get old enough, over enough time, they have enough interactions where if you have stars that are having orbits around each other, the more massive star will perturb the orbit of the less massive star. And over an extended period of time, the more massive stars will merge, sort of migrate inward to the center, and the less massive stars will migrate outward. And so you have this very massive core in relation to the entire cluster itself. So this is an example of that. And this is M30.
Bingo.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
You just say bingo.
Bingo! How fun!
Nice. It's getting faster now. All right, next object. Oh, fun fact. I took this image and was so self-conscious about it, I never even shared it. Because the stars were like so radioactive looking, I knew I messed up in my processing somewhere. But then I decided to not be a perfectionist and share it. This is in the Triangulum constellation, 2.7 million light years away. It's the third largest member of the local group. It's after the Milky Way and Andromeda. It is known as the Triangulum Galaxy, and the Messier number is M33. All right, this is our next object, or I should say pair of objects.
Bingo. Ooh, that's a bingo.
You just say bingo.
Bingo. How fun.
Nice. So Brian just got a bingo. I'm going to reveal what this one is. So this is in the constellation of Leo. And these galaxies are pretty close to the same distance away, 32 to 31 million light years. This is the brightest and dimmest in the group of three in the belly of the lion. And they are M95 and M96. All right, so this galaxy is in the constellation of Pisces, and it's 32 million light years away. I apologize to whoever wrote the fun fact because I totally replaced it with my own. This is the most researched galaxy within the OSU astronomy department. I feel like maybe almost every professor has written a paper on this galaxy. It's known as NGC 0628, and I've done research on this galaxy as well. It is known as the Phantom Galaxy, and the Messier number is M74. Most of you should know what this is. If you don't, you'll find out real soon. This is in the constellation of Andromeda, 2.5 million light years away. It's the closest major galaxy to the Milky Way. You can see it with your naked eye if you're in the right place. It is the Andromeda Galaxy, and the number is M31.
You get two Messier objects for the price of one here.
Yeah, I didn't combine them because there was another good photo of the next one, so I didn't want to take that away from the astrophotographer. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you've got, what's this little one up top? What's the number for that one? It's an IC number. Oh, okay.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, they won't look the same.
M110 is covered by the letter M, so I didn't see it.
Yeah, they won't look the same in the other pictures. Yes, we will one day collide with the Andromeda Galaxy. All right, this looks like an open cluster. It's in Sagittarius. It is mostly made up of small dim stars, although a few blue giant stars have been identified. This is M21. Okay, here's our next object. It's in Coma Berenices. The subject of one of the first blurred images from the Hubble Space Telescope. This is M100. I feel like the last bingo is going to come up.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
You just say bingo.
Bingo. How fun.
Yep. Roy got it. All right. What do we want to do now? Are there any Messier objects that people want to see? Oh, were you just one off?
So now, this is Dana. Everybody gets a deck of cards. Is that right?
Yeah, every winner. We have 5 decks.
So Roy and I are in the same house. Do you want to play until somebody else calls bingo?
If you would like that, I could do that.
I think that would be nice.
Okay. I think Brad's pretty close.
I'll give up half of my deck.
Okay, we have this nice open cluster here in Cygnus. It's one of the closest clusters. It's almost the size of the moon, but it's dimmed by the Milky Way's dust clouds. This is M39.
Bingo.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
You just say bingo.
Bingo. How fun.
Nice. All right, that's our 5 winners. Are there any Messier numbers that anyone would like to see? We've gone through just under half of half of the slide. So if there's any number that anyone would want to see just for fun, I can pull it up.
Was that Joanne?
No,
Judy.
that's Judy.
Judy. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Isaac.
And I'd like to see M82.
Okay. This is from Alex. And it's an Ursa Major. Yeah, we didn't use the Hubble image. Pinwheel Galaxy. All right, next one is the M82. Is that right?
Right.
All right. Oh yeah, the Cigar Galaxy. This one's really cool. You know, before I looked into this galaxy, I always thought that was like X-ray, that they had taken optical and mixed it with X-ray or something to get this image. I didn't think that this is what the galaxy would look like in optical. Joe, did you use some H-alpha filter for this image?
Yes, I did.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this one had a previous interaction with M81, and that stirred up the gas and kind of shocked it to make it become a starburst galaxy. So now it's actively forming a lot of stars right now because of that interaction. I think there might be a trail of one of the variants of hydrogen, like connecting them or something. I might be thinking of a different galaxy pair. Are there any other images that anyone would like to see?
How about that old favorite M42?
All right. Yeah, this is a Mark image. I was excited because I had never seen Mark's astrophotography before. So beautiful. So this is in Orion. Easily visible to the naked eye as a blurry star on the sword of Orion.
You have a separate image for M43?
I don't. No.
How about M11?
M11, you said?
Yep, that's it.
Oh, this is your favorite cluster, isn't it?
Actually, my favorite cluster is an NGC object, Caroline's cluster.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wild duck cluster. I don't see the duck.
You only see it in a speculum mirror.
Yeah,
In
no,
a-
I don't think anybody can see the duck.
In a small telescope, it's V-shaped, so it kind of emulates the ducks flying in formation.
That's cool.
That one's so bright I shot it at f10.
Wow. Any
How about
other?
M18?
M50.
Okay, I heard M18 first, so I'll go to that one.
And M51.
M51. Okay. So M18 in Sagittarius. One of the most challenging Messier objects located in this area to find because of the galactic plane. For this reason, astronomers aren't sure how many stars it contains. All right, and then I heard, was it M51?
M51.
M51, so Whirlpool Galaxy. Oh, can I tell you all how much dread this galaxy sparks in my heart? Because when I was first learning how to do astrophotography, this was my target. And every time I'd set up my telescope, it wouldn't work. And I would get like one really crappy picture of M51, and then I'd have to pack everything up and go home for weeks. It was so sad. Yes, this is M51. It's beautiful. Joe did a really good job getting the gas in here. Yeah.
Realize it was that extensive.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
This fuzzy stuff?
Those
What?
were stars? Wow.
So, well, is it okay? But like, there's enough material there to fuzz it out, right?
Yeah, is that part of a collision?
That's a beautiful shot of the bridge as well, Joe. Excellent job.
I was going to comment, we have some
Yeah.
accomplished astrophotographers in our club.
That's
Including
3
you,
years
Jason.
of accumulated data, including H-alpha. I was so determined to get it right. I just kept saving data for years.
Any other objects we want to look at?
Let's do M8. Fun one.
Okay.
Now that's my favorite Messier object.
Also, I mean, let's face it, the Virgo cluster galaxies. I mean, when you're doing a Messier marathon, you're also observing 20 or 30 NGC galaxies as well. So it all kinds of spins together.
Oh, you all know what
Too
this one
many.
is, right?
Oh, yeah.
M1.
So I changed the fun fact on this one, or added to it, because I guess I don't think this was known for a while, but I think it's considered a pulsar. There's a fairly quickly rotating neutron star in the center.
So I run a astronomy net for amateur radio, and next week's topic involves pulsars. So I've been running this net now for over a year and a half, and so I've been doing a series on radio astronomy because I've been watching the great courses, and I watched the course on radio astronomy. It is absolutely fascinating.
That is really cool. Any other objects that people want to look at?
13 we haven't seen yet.
We didn't see M13, did we? M13.
Oh no! Oh, that's the first one. I think this is my image. This is the first photo I ever took with a telescope. Yeah.
Okay.
Joe's probably looks a lot better, but I was proud of it. And it was also the first object I've ever seen in a telescope. Don Stevens, back when I was 16 years old, Don showed me this in a telescope at Perkins. It was fun.
So you said there were 2 Hercules clusters. There's actually a third one. It's 6229. Yes, I have imaged it.
Nice.
There's a little galaxy near there too, but I'm not sure it's net field.
By the way, Ness, you're doing really well for a beginner, so don't sell yourself short.
Oh, thanks. I had a great mentor. I couldn't ask for a better mentor. Anyone want to see anything else?
M22?
M46.
Okay, M46. What did you say, Wilkie? M22?
M22 is the other really huge one. I think it's better than 13, 22.
Okay,
Ooh,
I'm
that's
closer
a biggie.
to 46, so we're going to look at 46 first. I'm glad you pointed this one out because I really like that planetary nebula in there.
So that planetary nebula, is that part of the cluster, or is that like a foreground or background?
No, it's superimposed. It's just in there somewhere.
Okay.
But I think it looks so cool.
It's fun to look at when you're freezing your butt off at We Are Nuts.
I gotta do that planetary solo sometime.
Okay, I lied. M8. I said M8 was my favorite. Actually, it's M20. I always get M20 and M8.
Oh
backwards.
yeah. I was sad this didn't come up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That is my favorite Messier object of them all.
That one inspired my last 2 prime focus articles too. After I captured that.
So if you didn't see Brad's icon, this image is in the JGAP calendar, so you should definitely buy one.
Yeah, they did a great job. I love it.
That's gorgeous.
106. We haven't seen that one yet.
106. Okay, I'm scrolling through.
So that's the prerequisite, right? All the images in the calendar were taken from JGAP. That's awesome.
I think we should transition to the steak and shake portion of the evening. So we can kill the Facebook feed. Thanks, everybody. If anyone watched us on Facebook, thanks for coming. Bye, Facebook.
Bye, Facebook.
Yep.
Hi, Facebook.
Bye, Mark
See you next
Zuckerberg.
month.
Yeah.